so we're going to get started. Welcome to the Queens of DMV podcast, Real Talk and Real Estate. My name is Arnita Greene, and I have my co-host, Cher Castillo, and Arial Pegues.
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in with us today. And please, as always, follow us on Queens of DMV and listen to us on podcasts weekly on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Look out for us every Thursday via the YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. That was a fact. So today we have Katina, and we absolutely love her, ladies. Cher introduced us to her at an event that we had, and I think we all instantly connected.
Aww.
And she's absolutely amazing. And what we're going to talk about today is her design aesthetic. So today's topic is what's trending in real estate design.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Katina Benenate, and I am a realtor here in the DMV, but I have a background in interior architecture. I've been an interior designer for 16 years, and I've always bought, sold, and renovated homes, so it was just like a good flow into real estate. But my career started in 2005 officially, and I began with hospitality design, designing hotels for like Starwood, Marriott, etc. And then during the housing market crash, I was sought out by corporate design, and I was like, corporate? But it took me into aviation and healthcare design, and I really incorporated the hospitality sector into that realm. And then from there, I started designing retail stores and tons of residential. And I've just been designing ever since. I've done everything you can think of, but it's really my first love. And yeah, it brought me to the DMV. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. And did you say how long have you been designing? I know you said
16 years. 16 years.
16 years.
Awesome. Yep.
So tell us how you got into it.
Accident. I started out doing nails, and I did nails for 12 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I got really sick, so I went back to college. I started in business and transferred to Georgia State, and was in the business program there, and was like, what am I doing? I knew business was who I am, but I wanted more. So I ventured over to the arts building, and Georgia State is a business school, so it's hyper focused around business and law. So I went over to the the arts program, and sought out interior design, and then it was just love at first sight. I was like, I can't even draw, but I started taking the classes, and it really, really spoke to my soul, who I am, and I fell in love with it.
I love it because you incorporating your real estate and your design technique, and yep. So how does that cohese and help your business within both real estate and designing?
I'd say, first of all, really understanding construction, understanding good aesthetics, understanding good bones. I can walk into a place and be like, that's Carrara marble, that's quartz, that's, porcelain or ceramic. This is a matte finish, I can explain so many things. And I can also right off the bat see shoddy construction. I'm sure you guys can too. What? I shouldn't say that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's just funny because it was just funny the way you said it.
I can right off the bat see poor construction.
I know your clients appreciate it though.
I mean, I don't just like point every single thing out like right away, but if they are seriously interested, then yes, I do point it out. But it definitely plays hand in hand as far as also like when I'm working with clients, if they don't understand the space or they can't see like what blowing a wall out would do, and how like if a room is really dark, how imperative it is just to add a little bit of lighting. It's not really that expensive to fish through a J box, in throughout the room and put some recessed cans, and then the whole room changes. Or how something like paint can drastically change the feeling of a room or the exterior of a house. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, so what are some things that are trending now?
Trends.
And I mean like okay, gold hardware in the kitchen, or I think it's good for us to know too, and for our sellers who are selling properties and they might have still old outdated things in there. Maybe here's a good question: what are some things that people can change in their home just to make it look updated just a little bit, or just to change the aesthetics?
Okay, so again, paint is major. So like if there's a kitchen with old cabinetry, painting the cabinetry and adding new hardware can change it immensely. If your budget is, not so, if you have a low budget, you can always do things like there's peel and stick, like textured, they might look like waves, or they might look like stone. Like you can create a backsplash, or you can obviously do high-end versions of everything and add really exquisite backsplash, etc. But there are so many ways that you can drastically change a space with paint, with even if it's like a laminate surface or something, it can even be painted or whatever. But that's very like do it yourself, DIY, but
it could be done on a budget and not expensive.
I'm going to tell you something. One of my clients updated her kitchen, and she described, I'm going to go with epoxy, and I was thinking like, how is that going to look? But epoxy, I'm telling you,
amazing.
Yes, I walked into her house after she did the countertops and she did the epoxy over top of the laminate or the vinyl. And I was like, wow, this really looks like granite. The epoxy was very cheap, but she made it look like granite, like she spent a lot of money. It was really, really, really time saving, and money. It saved a lot of money that she was going to spend.
The only thing about epoxy is you really have to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely, it's very volatile chemicals, and it is not a place to play around if you don't know what you're doing. So you wanna practice on something in your garage, and how quickly it dries, and with your mixture, like if you think, oh, I watched TikTok, I'm just gonna try it. Sure, you don't try it out on your on the actual countertops, because it is no joke. And then the way it dries is it dries like with, sometimes it dries over here, sometimes it doesn't dry over there, so then it will bubble and all of that. So you got to be careful, but if you do it right, it is amazing. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Katina, when you as an agent and designer, a lot of times, when I'm flipping houses, I try to take my own personal design out of what I think the masses are going to like, right? Because I may have a particular design type. Like I think I'm more of like modern and transitional combined, right?
Mm-hmm. I would say glam too.
I would say glam.
A lot of your flips, your
modern glam. Transitional at oil.
Okay, well, but anyways, my point being is that a lot of times when I'm designing my own flips, like I like to think about not what I like per se, but what the buyers like, because the buyers tend to like whatever's on HGTV, whatever's trending on there.
Right.
So as, homeowners may be listening or maybe flippers or whomever, and they're thinking about, what's trending in 2022, because there's a lot of new things trending. As I was doing research for the show, I saw a lot of things. And then, as you look at new properties, you see, new light design, new colors, new whatever. What is the best thing that you think, when you're picking trending pieces, but they can carry on a more long-term look? Like, how do you advise someone to pick trends that are going to last, if that makes sense?
Well, I don't usually advise people to pick trends just because they don't tend to last. That's why it's a trend. It's in now and then it's out. I advise people to, if it's for sale, if they want to list their property, I definitely advise people to less is more. Keep it, like you said, less about you and more about what will appeal to the masses. And what that means is, like, yes, gold is in, yes, gunmetal is in, yes, chrome is even still in, yes, like all the finishes, all the metals are really still in. But if you want to play it safe, stay away from shiny, flashy, and mix it up. Like incorporate a little bit of each, or sometimes there's like a marble finish, that will be universal. And then I don't know, like every project is different, right? But the white and the gray has been done forever.
Oh, if I see one more gray wall, I'm just gonna slip my.
Oh my God!
So, question then: you said no more gray wall. Are we not going back to browns? Are we?
Yeah, actually, we are. Really? Actually, the trend, the latest is because there always has to be a neutral, right?
Right.
Always.
Okay.
It has to be a neutral. So we started with taupe, and then we went into gray, and now we are veering back into like a taupier version. Like it'll be different hues. It won't go exactly back to when it was taupe, brown, green, rust, but it will be versions of that. Okay. Yeah, because everything recycles. Always.
Are we talking about an accent wall? Or are we talking about like the whole paint job?
I'm just talking about neutrals, but I really personally, I don't really do accent walls. Like that's not my design aesthetic. I let the artwork and the accessories and everything. That's my hook. But I mean, I'm just talking about color palette. Sorry, right. I think I'm getting you off track. I mean,
no, it's okay. We like to go all over the place.
But so with trend share, I think the best thing is to kind of stay away from it. Look at the architecture, look at the house itself, and maybe take something that is really beautiful about the house. Now, if it's a complete flip, focus on the architecture and the aesthetic of the neighborhood and what's sold for the highest price point. That's where I would start. And then, design it around that with your own flair, I guess. But like all gold hardware throughout, never. All chrome, never. Because that's too matchy. It'll make it like a
model home at
yeah, it'll make it too sterile. You want like every ethnicity, every price point to be like, oh, this is beautiful, this is well done. If there's one thing that they can attach to with their heart, it'll make them feel like, oh, I can see myself here, as opposed to a cold aesthetic.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm starting to like really the golds, but I do know that
The
it's
what?
gold.
Oh, you're
And the
just
gold,
now starting to?
Well, I like the way it looks in like in kitchens and
I
everything.
love gold. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. But I'm
It
like,
is.
okay, well, how long is this gonna last? And I'm not one to change up I think that's the
Oh,
problem.
really?
I
That's
don't
the problem. Yeah.
That's the problem. I don't change up much.
Change it like you change your bag, girl. Like you change your
Like I
shoes.
have this accent wall that is blue.
I love
And my
blue. Blue's
sister
my
told
favorite.
me, because it's my favorite color, but I've been here 10 years and I've had that accent wall for 10 years. So, Cher, it's time for you to come over. Cher and Katina.
Yeah, invite me to Lemon Drop.
Exactly.
Right.
And help me out. I think I need y'all over to help me out.
I could already tell you do.
Because you don't like accent walls.
I don't like accent walls either. I don't like accent walls. My whole house
because
is white.
it chops you up. Like I like things to flow, and like how Cher has huge pieces of art. Like that is I love that, especially like if it's flanked with some sconces. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, definitely.
These right here.
Y'all coming over now. I'll make lemon drops.
I did something in my home. I got bored during 2020 when we got quarantined, and I just
got bored.
I was in the house, and I'm like, I don't like this house anymore. So I ripped the kitchen out,
like the rest of the world.
Listen, I went to town. I ripped the floors out. I ripped the kitchen out. I ripped the whole first floor out. There was nothing to sit on. Threw the couches out. Threw the whole furniture out. And my husband was like, "What the heck are you doing?" But as I started, designing and doing stuff, he started to like it. But my theme, and Arnita's been to my house. I'm mixing the metals. So I'm mixing gold and silver together. And I did go with a neutral gray, but you can't really tell it's gray. It's more on the whiter side of gray.
Mm-hmm. Like gold?
Not quite agreeable gray, but very much lighter than that. And I went with a gray plank floor. What's your ideas, or what do you think the trends are for flooring? Like, are people going towards the more engineered plank? Are they going towards the actual natural wood floor? Are people doing carpet more? What are you seeing in trends when it comes to flooring?
So on this part of the world, everybody does the gray, the gray plank flooring. I do think the luxury vinyl tile that you're calling plank, I think that is a really smart solution because it is extremely durable. It's really easy to replace. If there's any kind of water damage, that's what you want, like to be able to easily cut it out, get the problem out, and relay it, right? And it looks pretty. If you talk about real hardwood, that's a budget situation because real hardwood is always most desirable. I mean, if you're looking at it from an aesthetic standpoint and from long term, you can at any time stain it and make it a new color. That's the beauty of real wood, right? And then it's better for you to be able to breathe and all of that. But that's another story. But like on the West Coast, they are going for the more raw wood. They have left the ebony and the walnut and the gray, and they're going like more of a knotty pine, natural bamboo. But
you're actually seeing a lot of oversized, especially in DC proper, I would say. You're seeing a lot of oversized planked hardwood that's much lighter and natural too.
Yeah,
like the birches and all that, where you weren't seeing that so much before. Everybody was going for the darker, the cherries. And,
I was gonna get to that too. Like it depends on the price point. That was my next step, because when I'm in the homes that are in the million and up range, especially in like Georgetown, Petworth, Anyway, I can't remember.
Upper Northwest, yeah.
Huh?
Upper Northwest.
Yeah, Upper Northwest. Thank you. They you know, the integrity of the natural wood, right? They don't want to get rid of it, so they're buffing it down to the raw, and then they're going with like either a clear coat, a poly, or just a slight amount of color, and it's actually really pretty. It opens it up, and again, that's similar to California, like the West Coast. So it really just depends on where you are and what your price point is, for sure.
Yeah, because you're looking at with hardwood at that price point, you know, especially when you're getting with the oversized planks, you're looking at $8 a square foot and above. So that totally changes the price point. Whereas you can get just as nice luxury waterproof vinyl that looks very similar for $3 to $4 a square foot.
Right.
Yeah. Which used to be too before the supply chain issues.
Oh, I know. I mean, everything.
Or 187 even. I mean, it's insane. So we're talking 200% markup. But then also, like, if you have like a Spanish style architecture or an Italianate, you can also embrace like porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles. And they are absolutely gorgeous, and they can handle a lot of water damage. The only problem with that is, like the hardwood, like real hardwood, if something happens and you have to replace it, you need the exact same product. And, you know, you need it. You pretty much, what I would suggest is buy overage if you're going to do a renovation and store it. Because if anything happens.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but if anything happens, you need that, or you're in trouble.
I have hardwood, and I'm ready. I'm ready now to pick it up. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You
want to switch it out with vinyl, or?
Yeah, I do. With the engineered hardwood, I do. And I like the gray. I want a whole new look in here. Y'all say I'm really getting y'all over here. But the hardwood is just so, now I'm you know, if you drop, the kids have dropped stuff over the years, and it's knit, you know, so it's just a lot. And
all you need to do is buff it down then.
Yeah, I don't like it though. And then it's the small plank, so I'm over it.
You want a whole new look, yeah.
I want a whole new look. I want
do some 24 by 24 marble.
I was just about to say that. Okay, so I'm not doing it because
I love going all the way. If it fits your lifestyle, yeah.
I don't know if it fits my lifestyle. What is the durability of a marble flooring?
It's porous. It don't get anything like a Carrera, because the wine and everything it can stain it. But if you get one that has been sealed and that is a color that can handle it, it's amazing. And then you put rugs over it, and then it's just luxury.
Cher and Ariel, what do y'all think about marble flooring?
I love marble.
On the whole first floor.
I thought about doing that to my whole foyer. I'm a little afraid because I have a small child, though.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the thing. Yeah, you know, that's the only reason I didn't do it, because if he hits that marble, it's probably over for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if I didn't have small children, I would totally be down for it. The other thing I do think about too, because if I was in Florida, I would be marbled out
all day.
But it's so cold in the winter here. Exactly. So, you know, it's like putting tile in the basement.
But you can put a heating system under it.
Girl, you're trying to have me pay $20 square foot for install.
I am. I know. But you know, like for durability and for no staining, you can also do porcelain that looks just like marble, and it's amazing. But you're right. If it's cold, it would be burr.
I got pets.
Freak. So
I got pets, so that's why I decided not to do it. But it's beautiful. I just have pets, and flooring, you know, you don't want to go all out because dogs are they scratch the nails, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard on hardwood too.
Actually, dogs are harder on hardwoods than
Yeah.
they are on like a porcelain or a marble because they can't really. It bothers them, so they're gonna move to the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've had dogs, and they have damaged. I still see the scratches from when I can always remember them.
You don't have them anymore?
No, they passed on.
Oh.
So
Well, let's talk about lighting. This is my favorite fixture ever.
okay.
I am like totally obsessed with lighting.
Me too.
And I will personally change out my lighting like I change my purses.
Really?
So yes, like
Oh
I'm
my
over
God.
all the chandeliers that I have in my house. I feel like
Okay.
I need all new chandeliers. I want to switch them out because I feel like I did pick trendier stuff when I was, designing. And now I have like these tiny crystal balls in every crevice of my house. They may be hanging in different, ways, but nonetheless they're everywhere. And I think I want a more like classic modern type of look in terms of light fixtures because I feel like I don't know, I get less tired of them over time. But what I've been seeing, and Katina, you jump in at any time, like, and I'm currently obsessed with light bars. Like, have you guys seen light bars yet?
I love them.
Yeah.
I actually do.
And I'm like, where am I going to put some light bars? I don't know where I'm going to put it. Maybe I won't put them anywhere, but I've seen light bars like trending.
Can I
So
what are light bars exactly?
Look, I'm Googling it now because I'm like,
okay.
I think it is.
Like, I mean, there can be on the interior or the exterior. It's kind of like a sconce-like light fixture, and they're very modern. They're long and straight and narrow. You can put them outside, you can put them inside, but it gives a very like sleek, modern finish.
Okay, I actually have those on my island in my kitchen.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
My husband installed them. They're very easy to install, though.
Nice. Yeah, so I haven't seen a lot I haven't seen them a lot in showing houses or looking at, models and all of that, but I do see that it's something that's trending. And it looks pretty classic to me too. It's not something that's so outrageous like gold chandeliers right now. I feel like those are a lot. Like I'm going into houses and where every single chandelier is gold and like very textured and just a lot. And I'm like, oh, that's cute for right now. But then in 3 years from now, you're probably going to want to switch those out because they're just a little too trending.
Right.
Yeah. So for the light bars, let me ask you a question because I've seen them both ways. Oh yeah, go ahead. Is it you have it?
Can you see that?
They're longer. Yeah, like that's not quite a light bar. And I wish we could share it on the screen, a sample of the light bar. But
are you doing the colorful ones? Are you doing the colorful ones? Or are you doing like just the white, bright?
Light, bright, either like chrome or polished or like a brushed nickel light bar.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're pretty affordable too. I mean, and I hadn't ever seen them before recently. So
I think it's just a pretty design. Just walking through like your house is just a beautiful, design technique that could be, put on the wall.
Yeah, it looks like art to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And lighting is like sculpture. Mm-hmm. It really should be. It really should be like considered, like taken into consideration when you think about how you want to accessorize more so than, even though you have to pick it in the beginning, you should think about like how you want it to feel. Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I don't know.
So I also so my husband and I were arguing over because I didn't want a fan in the family room. I wanted a light fixture. I just wanted
a chandelier.
I wanted a chandelier, exactly. Of course he won. So we have that, a fan. But now we've had it for 10 years. I'm ready to do my own design. What do you think about that? Do you think a chandelier or just really depends on
So when I design for couples, I have to really make sure everybody's happy.
Mhm.
But the woman is who you, as a woman, I have to win the woman over,
Mhm.
or I'm not going to be in the house anymore.
Right.
So, and it's funny because the woman usually like really starts to fall in love with everything I pick first. It's really crazy. It's like, I trust you, and the man gives me the buck. But
Mhm.
ceiling fans, the only time I will bend on it is if like someone is like really hot natured and they're like, listen, I can't handle it, this house gets too hot.
Yes.
Other than that, ceiling fans gotta go
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
because we are designing for a vibe, for a feeling, for a ambiance, you know.
Yeah.
And lighting is everything.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Especially in these social
I think
media
lighting
days.
is a mood. Lighting is a mood.
Lighting
Like,
is a whole mood.
Literally.
Photos.
Yeah. Literally.
How you gonna get dressed and then put on some old tennis shoes or something with a dress? You have to have the right shoes. You have to, everything has to come together, and that is lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed that we don't even use the fan. I've really me talking through this just now. We don't even use the fan. So
I'm like, you need a consultation with Benenate.
So I like with ceiling fans. I hate ceiling fans. I absolutely hate how they look. They're so not cute to me, but I love the functionality of a ceiling fan. So I have ceiling fans in my kids' room because they both get hot all the time.
Yeah.
And so I have them in there, but in my master bedroom, we had 2 ceiling fans in here when we first moved in, and I was like, functionally, this is a smart idea to keep them.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, I hate them, so I took them down. And now, even though the chandeliers are beautiful, like sometimes at night, I'm like, oh man.
You know how I deal with that though? Again, so that's a function issue, and function is important. It's first, actually. If you really want your clients to be happy, it can't just be pretty and then you can't live in it. That's not good design. So in that situation, I would suggest sconces flanking the headboard, or drop pendants over each nightstand, and keep the ceiling fan.
Ooh, can you say drop pendants? You had me at drop pendants over there.
Yeah, me too.
I am obsessed with
that's all
pendants.
I do. That's all I did for like the last 10 years is beautiful drop pendants. I'll do multiple over each nightstand, so it's all the space is clear. Bingo. And it looks exquisite.
Love it.
I would have totally done that in my bedroom if the ceilings weren't so high. Like the ceilings are too high to do that.
No, they're not.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Ooh.
Sounds like you need
a consultation. Everybody needs a consultation.
You know how sometimes Cher, how it is, like I know I want help with it's easier to like guide someone else, but with myself it's like, what do I do?
That's how I feel. Yeah. I'd rather bring somebody in and see what they come up with than to sit down and think about what I would do, because I'm just like, surprise me already.
Yeah, I don't even want to
go with so many houses, all day long. It's just like, just surprise me.
I love going in the houses. It is like the most fun thing ever. I love to see what people do or haven't done or should do. Like my wheels just start churning.
So I have a question for you, and I kind of think I know what you're gonna say, but I'd love to get everybody's opinion on this. What are you guys thinking about wallpaper?
I love wallpaper.
Love it.
I love wallpaper.
Yummy.
Love it.
So funny story, right? When I bought my house 14 years ago, it was wallpaper down, honey. It was peeling. It was patterned. It was horrible. I'm talking about 1990 wallpaper.
Yeah, wallpaper back then and wall covering now.
Yes, it's so different. It's so different now. That's what I said. It's coming back out. I literally wallpapered my half bath. I think Arnita, you may have seen it.
It's gorgeous. Yes.
And I just like, what is your take? Do you think that it's making a a comeback, and what's the difference?
See,
That
I'm
is
in
making
design,
people-
so wallpaper has been back in for probably 15 years. Yeah.
So it
Wallpaper,
never went away, basically, is what you're saying.
It just
it
changed.
did. It grew up. It grew
Grew
up.
up. That's a good way to
Yeah,
put it.
it grew up. It started. It went into silk wallpaper, which is
Mhm.
$300 a yard. It all kind of weaves and different textures, and then there's beautiful faux finishing that's been transferred into wallpaper, and then you have graphics that have been lasered into wallpaper, and
Mhm.
now it's become affordable. It was really more so for the elite and for hotels.
Mhm.
And so now it's become affordable. So yeah, and then they even have peel and stick, but it looks scary.
When I saw a wallpaper that was stoned and I touched it and it was wallpaper, I couldn't believe it. Now this is the bomb.
And that's because the way the laser is printed, it gives the illusion, of depth. Yeah, wallpaper it's amazing. I love it. But again, you have to worry about it being too trendy.
Mhm.
And so what I would tell someone, whether they're like investing in a designer or gonna go gung-ho on doing custom, ask yourself, like, is this my forever home? Are we gonna be here at least 10 years? So that way the amount of work you're putting in is you're gonna get an ROI on your investment. Like
Right.
either it's your family enjoying it, or do you want to sell in 5 years? And if that's the case, then you have to think about every single dollar you're putting in and what that looks like.
And I think it depends too. Like if you're just wallpapering a bathroom and the rest of your house is pretty neutral, then
Mhm.
no big deal. But if you're going to wallpaper every room in your house, then you're going to have to think about changing that out before you list it on the market again, because most people aren't going to like that. And that happens a lot in Georgetown. Like there's a lot of houses in Georgetown that have a ton of wallpaper from room to room.
Yeah.
And it's very specific to that area. I had a buyer actually with your company, Katina, was a listing company, and we're under contract, and it's a French couple, and they have different wallpaper in every room of the property.
Oh, that I remember.
It's so specific.
No comment.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even like it's hideous.
It's not.
Just,
it's literally for like the 17th century. Well, no, 18th century. And it is like all of their furniture were real antiques.
Exactly.
So it was all French. And so if you understand that, like, because I went to school and I learned about it and was like, I don't know, but if that's your thing, it's cool.
It's a lane. Yeah, it's a lane.
It's a lane.
It is.
Yeah.
But for the average buyer in this area, everybody wanted to like vomit in their mouth when they saw it, because they were just like, oh my gosh, this is just too much wallpaper everywhere. So my clients, of course, they're going to blow the house up and start all over again. So they didn't really
Are they?
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to see that a lot more in Georgetown. I feel like Georgetown has its own characteristics. Like everybody has like a different color house. You see a lot more purple houses. You'll see a different color door. I just think like you see a lot of character in Georgetown, DC.
Did you say purple? Because purple was one of the colors that are trending in 2022, apparently. Eggplant.
My favorite color. That's my favorite color.
Really? It is.
Yes.
I'm glad you talked about wallpaper in different rooms. What do you think about, and this is for the average seller, having flooring in different rooms?
You mean different flooring in different rooms?
Yes.
Hot mess.
It drives me insane.
Hot mess. What that says is, first of all,
say it.
Either they got like a bunch of flooring at discount rates and they just bought it and had it sitting somewhere, or they did it in phases, or I've been trying to figure that out, but it drives me mad.
I see it often. in
I don't think that a lot of people, and for us it's different because we're in the business, we're in the field. Like seamlessness is super important to us when we're presenting a property. But I don't think for the average homeowner, unless they're on HGTV all the time, they're thinking about that. They're like, oh, I got this good floor and I don't care about matching it, right? Like I'm just going to put another nice floor in the room and put a threshold and we should be okay. Now, I totally disagree. However, it's like, I just hear them over and over again. Like I will have consults and I'm talking to the sellers and they're like, no, this floor is perfectly fine. It doesn't matter that there's cherry wood here. And then you go into the other room.
No, we're gonna put a throw rug on it and keep it moving.
It drives me insane.
Well, the buyers that I work with, most of them notice it, and it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Well, the buyers,
yeah.
But I'm saying the sellers, because
Yeah.
I'm talking about when they're prepping their house to list on the market, and we're consulting them, so we have to basically get them to think about changing stuff, right? Like they're leaning on our guidance for that. And if we're like, oh, well, buyers like a seamless look, they don't want to see carpet, then tile, then, hardwood, then vinyl, like changing up from room to room. And
that is so horrible.
It is.
I agree, Cher.
So much.
I totally agree with that. I think today's buyer, first-time buyer is a little bit more pickier than ever before because they're watching these design shows.
There's so much information out here.
Yeah, there's so much information. And then I also think that, that modern trend is going on as well, where there's so many other ways to design, as we've been talking about.
Right.
So.
And with the lighting, another thing that really always keep in mind, like if you really want to wow buyers with your listings, always consider the exterior lighting. So consider sconces on the exterior. Make sure that if there's an overhang or a porte-cochere or whatever there is, make sure it's lit. And then if you can, light the pathway. Those are like little gems that will make that house look really, really elegant, like high end. And that's their first representation of the house. Their first time,
curb appeal. Yeah.
I really love that. Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people forget about the lighting on the outside, and like with it getting dark at 2 here now, it's like I mean 4:30.
Right, like what time is it? Yeah.
Like you just blink and it's dark. So that says a lot.
Well, that's a perfect way to end us today. To finish on the outside, letting everybody know to take care of your outside lighting, everybody. It was excellent having you on today, Katina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And so, as always, thank you for joining the Queens of DMV. And I'm Arnita Greene. We're signing out, and our co-host,
Cher Castillo,
Arial Pegues.
And as always, everybody follow us on IG at Queens of the DMV and YouTube. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And Katina, let everyone know how to find you on social media as well, in case they need a consult too.
I am Katina Benenate, and you can find me at Katina_the realtor on Insta, TikTok, Facebook, and I don't know what else.
That's perfect. And everyone, don't forget to follow us. Our episodes air every Thursday, again on YouTube, podcast, and Spotify. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.